Meant by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
We're starting now.
Back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Fuck Joe Biden.
Refuse to go along with this, and I'm seeing through all of your lies, Barack Obama, you wicked, wicked devil!
Welcome back to another night of Stick with Koolfrogg. And of course, I have AmericaShirts. How's it going today, buddy?
Hello there. It's going pretty good.
Awesome. So, today, we're talking about baby formula shortages. Now, it seems to be kind of like it's been talked about for a while. It's been happening for a while. Just not very much. Like, I really don't hear about it a lot. Like, not enough. We need to hear about it a lot more.
You don't?
You don't hear about it? Do you hear about it a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time?
Yes.
Good. Well, I don't pay attention to leftist media all the time. So, watching TV is not something that I do.
Hey, what do you
I
mean?
just-
What the hell are you talking about?
What do you TV? Well, you hear about it here because we've been talking about it, in the last few weeks, but we haven't really talked about this. We haven't really brought it up, so it's like, I don't know. I know that it's been an issue for a while. Either way.
I think you're
What do
drunk
I
on
mean?
insulin from all that corn syrup and ice cream.
Well, could be anything, but,
That's supposed to be my ice cream. It's inflation.
fuck you, Nancy. It's mine. I ate it. It's in my belly.
I passed a law into Congress where all ice cream in the country belongs to me. I confiscated all of your ice cream.
So, it seems as there's a global issue with baby formula. It's
not
not
in the United States.
not just the United States. It seems to be there's more of a global issue than we think. I did a little bit of research on it, and I couldn't really find anything in specific, but I did catch a couple things where they're actually saying that, there could be some global issues because, and it's not that other places don't have, what's best for feeding children or whatever. It's that they're now trading it, selling it to other people so that they can actually feed their children. So that there's some weird things that are happening because of these shortages. So this news article came out from April 15th. It says, amid baby formula shortage, factory stays shut as investigators try to pinpoint source of a bacteria that sickened infants. The CDC said it found no match between bacteria samples from 2 sick infants and samples from a Michigan formula factory that paused production earlier this year. Amid a nationwide baby formula shortage, federal investigators have been unable to definitively determine the source or sources of rare bacteria that sickened 4 infants, 2 of them now dead, who all consumed powdered formula made in one Michigan factory. Abbott Nutrition Factory in Sturgis, Michigan, halted production of Similac earlier this year amid reports of the Coronabacter infection in the 4 infants, who had all ingested powdered formula from the plant. But the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and the Food and Drug Administration told NBC News they found no match between bacteria samples taken from 2 of the infants and samples from the factory. CDC officials also said, however, that they could not obtain or test samples from the 2 other infants who got Coronabacter infections and had consumed formula from the factory. Abbott Nutrition and the FDA, which is investigating conditions at the plant, declined to say if additional cases had surfaced beside the 4 already reported. Coronabacter infections are rare, but can be deadly in newborns. The germs can cause sepsis, a dangerous blood infection, or meningitis. 2 of the 4 infants who reported Coronabacter cases died. So it's kind of strange to me that, the CDC always has something to do with everything. And when they actually go and they actually put themselves into this place with the Food and Drug Administration, and they're trying to figure something out, and they're actually saying, well, though this has happened and we're trying to tie this to this, it seems as though they're not able to actually tie this particular infection to the factory. But they're still trying to. Why would they be trying to do that if that's not the case? It just so happened to be a coincidence? Was there something else that was going on? Just kind of seems a little strange to me.
Yeah, because later on in the article it says that, unless you don't want me to spoil, are you going to read this entire thing?
Well, I mean,
it's fairly lengthy.
It is a fairly lengthy article. I mean,
excuse me.
A couple more sections.
But later on in the article, towards the end of it, it says that they tested the facility and they found that kind of a virus, bacteria there present, but that didn't match. But they're saying it doesn't match the strain or whatever of that particular bacteria, I guess, that the infants fell ill with. So, is this planted there so that, oh yes, there's justification for this because there was this found there, allegedly? Or is it there and it's just multiplying and it has different strains or whatever? Like, I don't know. But the way that everything else is going, and then you see this go on, and you're like, oh, yeah, I think we kind of know where this is going, don't we? And then all of a sudden, as this turns out, right, as you're reading through this and as you're looking at this, as you're sitting here going, well, wait, what the hell? Like, they closed down a factory to do this, and, they didn't find a match, but they're shutting it down, and now there's a shortage, and, oh, wait, Bill Gates has a fake teat he wants you to suck off of now. Oh. Anyway, we'll get there, but let's continue reading with this. So as this is going on, Bill Gates is in the background, like, creating this, artificial teat for your baby to suck off of. So anyway, so you just continue.
So, because there's certain people that are on time constraints tonight, we're going to try pushing through this a little bit. Really, I mean, pay attention to what you're reading. News comes from all different directions. And tonight's articles are really kind of aimed, kind of strange. And when you actually start looking and paying attention to what people are actually saying and what's exactly happening, it's like this one is, dealing with some kind of a bacteria that killed a couple of babies. And it's like, oh, okay, so how much of the stuff was recalled, so that they could actually do testing to see what was going on. So that starts part of a shortage. You're gonna, kind of meld a bunch of different stories into one here, and let you know what's actually happening. So, this one I found kind of interesting. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of stories from a whole bunch of different places. This is CNN Business. This is baby formula is getting harder to find. Look at this one's date. This is the reason that I pulled this up, was because of the date. It is dated November 16th, 2021. There had been issues all the way back then. Look, it's Mike. How's it going, Mike?
I think
I was muted. Hello.
Oh, okay,
Magic
there he
Mike
is.
forgot his mic.
That was horrible.
That's as bad as coconut ice cream.
Kill me. Anyway,
I bet it tastes about as good too.
you know what?
Shit.
I definitely just ruined whatever you were talking about. How are you guys doing?
Well, it's totally fine because, the stories get better when you have people like Mike around. So this one here, like I said, the reason that I put it was because it was from November 16, 2021. So people have been having issues with having baby formula for quite some time. And I'm sure this is, that just because this is dated then, that you can't say that this started this. It started a lot sooner than this. And you'd be surprised how long people have been complaining about baby formula. Stores are having trouble quickly restocking baby formula into shelves as serious supply chain problems persist across the globe. Drugstore chains, Walgreens, which operate 9,000 locations across the United States, said demand for infant formula is increasing nationwide at the same time that its suppliers are struggling to quickly meet orders. This may cause temporary and isolated shortages. Walgreens said it is frequently posting product availability updates on its website throughout the day. Quote, "We are restocking the stores as quickly as possible and continuing to work diligently with our supplier partners to best meet customer demands." Unit sales of powder baby formula have dipped 1.7% year over year, according to market research. Unit sales of liquid concentrate infant formula has dropped a significant 18.3 year over year. I mean, when you actually think about that amount of formula that's not being produced, not being put out, not being given to babies that need it. Because there's, some of the complaints would be like, oh, well, mom can breastfeed. That's the reason that they can. And it's, well, we get that. We totally understand that. Obviously, there's some weird, strange leftist arguments that can come out of it or whatever. But, when you actually think about, mom doing it, some moms just can't do it. We heard the story from Kaylee McEnany that she can't do it. She has issues because she had a massive mastectomy. So she had both of her boobs removed for cancer stuff or whatever. There's no way that she'd be able to produce anything to feed a baby. She needed formula. Couldn't imagine what it would be like right now if I had to actually be dealing with these formula issues. I'm so glad that my son is 2 and he actually eats solid foods. I couldn't imagine. Anyway, this includes working in the distributors, retailers, and state agencies in innovative ways of ensuring availability and the continued access to infant formula. Parents and caregivers should ensure they get infant formula from a safe, reliable source. Really, you should. You shouldn't just pick up somebody else's can of formula if it's open or whatever. You just don't know what's in that formula and what could actually cause problems. We just read an article on bacteria, for crying out loud. I mean, that's kind of a common sense thing, you'd think.
No, CNN needs to tell you to do that. And again, don't do your own research, folks, because CNN says you don't need to do your own research that's problematic. Shouldn't be doing that.
Never believe your lying eyes.
Never.
One of the most stolen items from stores. With infant formula, the issue of shortages in stores is complicated by the fact that it also one of the most commonly stolen products in retail. Gee, I wonder why. When you can go and you can make a turnaround of, 5-finger discount to actually making it, whatever, $22 a can. This, you're gonna do it. You're gonna go do whatever you can to make that money and be like, I seen them. They got formula. Go get that. Get that. I'll give you $24 a can. I mean, people do some silly stuff, especially when it comes to feeding their children. But yeah, organized retail crime gangs that are going around and stealing formulas. Making money. $300,000 worth of stolen baby formula online from people ordering baby formula and not paying for it. I just don't get how you do that, because I thought you always had to pay for everything before you could even before it would even be sent to you. Anyway.
But here, let me show you this. This is what a Democrat congressman said about people talking about the baby formula shortage. Because this was right after Marjorie Taylor Greene made a thing. Oh, do you want to hear Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I hate Mr. Raskin. He sucks. No, you just play it. You just play it.
Oh, where'd he go?
I'd rather listen to his stupid crap first, so that way Marjorie can be the last thing that was in my memory.
Shite. Hold up a sec. Disappeared off the screen. After I took it off full screen, it's like, where the hell did this go? What the freak?
Go to the top of the screen.
Oh, there it goes. Pop back now. It's like a Twitter. It's like an inside like Twitter link or whatever. Like, what the hell did they call that? Embedded Twitter link. Here, let's turn the volume up.
Mr. Raskin, you piece of crap.
So this is after Marjorie Taylor Greene says stuff about the baby formula shortage, right? How you shouldn't be sending $40 billion to Ukraine because, hey, we have a baby formula shortage here. You think maybe you could give a shit about somebody else here? And this is his response.
Here's a formula for the destruction of democracy, repeating Putin's propaganda and disinformation and appeasing imperialist assaults on sovereign nations.
Was that it? He just has no valid thoughts. Okay.
What the fuck was that?
That's. I mean, this is what they're resorting to. Is you think there's a baby formula shortage? Well, you're repeating Putin's disinformation.
I mean, it worked for them with Antifa. They just lied about existing.
So there's not a shortage going on?
According to him, no.
But,
So being that
good
there's
luck with
not a shortage going on, I'm going to say it right here and right now. Anything that we say throughout the night is just simply reading news articles. I have no clue what I'm talking about, and I find it very interesting. And that's it. If there's no shortage, great. But if there is, at the same time, you got to think about it.
I mean, you could just go onto store shelves and stores and look for yourself. But hey, we're not biologists. We don't know.
What's up, Marjorie?
Don't freaking know.
Thank you. I rise in opposition to the Ukrainian supplemental bill. $40 billion. But there's no baby formula for American mothers and babies.
Bang your head up
An
against the
unknown
headboard.
amount of money to the CIA in the Ukraine supplemental bill.
Oh.
But there's no formula for American babies and mothers. $54 million in COVID spending in Ukraine, but there's no formula for American babies and mothers. $900 million for nonprofits and organizations in Ukraine, but there's no formula for American babies and mothers. $8.7 billion for economic support and funding in Ukraine, but there's no formula for American mothers and babies. If this is about claiming that it's about saving lives, let's be real, then we would care about war-torn countries like Ethiopia. So that's a bunch of hypocrisy because I never hear Ethiopia brought up here. Totally ignoring, completely ignoring our own border crisis, our own baby formula crisis, and brutal inflation, skyrocketing gas prices that no one can afford, but $40 billion for Ukraine? Stop funding regime change and money laundering scams and U.S. politician cover-ups of their crimes in countries like Ukraine. The American people do not support paying for constant U.S. involvement in foreign affairs while our own government fails our own country. Let me remind everyone here, we swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and our borders. We should be paying attention to our country right now. I yield back. Thank you.
Great. Wonderful. So, a couple things real quick. Jules Callie sitting in chat. She says apparently there's pallets and pallets sitting is sitting at the border, supposedly. So before we actually, I'll show you. See, you can see it right there. So as that's actually being displayed, you can see here. This is Snopes. This is Snopes saying, was the baby formula shipped to the U.S.-Mexico border amid the shortage? This is border officials are required by law to provide food to any minor in their custody. Key facts. Baby formula can be found at migration processing facilities along the U.S.-Mexico border. Since the 1990s, border officials have been required to provide adequate food and water to minors. The baby formula shortage in the United States was caused by recalls, supply chain issues, and purchasing patterns of new parents. So they're saying that's false. That yes, there is stuff sitting at the border, but the stuff sitting at the border is not the reason for the issue. I say, I get it. Okay, fine. That's what's going on. That's great. But can you release some of the food back to the people of the United States of America so that they don't starve their babies?
Well, I mean, there's already a shortage, so why the hell are we giving this to illegals coming to the border? Why not redirect
Because
that, as
they're
you're saying?
required by law. That's why.
Because freaking mothers that are coming across the border are like having their baby, like literally like their water breaks, and they're like having their child like right as they cross the Rio Grande.
According to Snopes.
It's like, how about we stop incentivizing that kind of crazy ass bullshit and actually like give this to our people?
That would require them to admit they were wrong, which, won't happen.
Says this photograph is often accompanied by captions accusing Biden administration of causing a worsening in the shortages and prioritizing refugees over Americans. Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, for example, tweeted, "Joe Biden continues to put America last by shipping pallets of baby formula to the southern border as American families face empty shelves. It is true that Biden administration is shipping baby formula to the border. If so, is this a new endeavor? Is it causing or worsening a current baby formula shortage?"
Nobody is saying that. We're saying that it's hypocritical for them to be sending them formula. They're supposed to be illegal immigrants.
Yeah, but the left needs to be told so they understand about their hypocrisies. If you don't tell them, they'll never get it, and they still will get it.
But Snopes is trying to reform what we're all saying, so that they can claim that this is fake,
exactly.
like they
So
always
places like Snopes is going to say, well, this is how to give you some context. This is what we actually mean. And it's like, well, that's not what we're saying either. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying, oh my God, you shouldn't be putting stuff at the border. We're saying, when you think about it, are you not required to feed your own citizenry first?
I mean,
if there's something
the
there.
The way that Snopes does this, it's like, we're talking about how, wow, the grass is really green today and the sky's really blue. And Snopes is like, well, I mean, fact check, because, we checked it out and not every single grass blade has, a lot of chlorophyll in it, because there's a lot of grass blades that are actually dead in grass. So you can't really say that all of the grass is in fact green. Therefore, conservatives are losers, populists are losers, kill them all. Like, this is like the level of bullshit we're at right now. It's like, this is just, it's completely fake. We're not saying that the sending to the border is causing it. We're saying that it shouldn't be sent to the border in the first place, so we would have that stock here for us.
And really the rest of this piece from Snopes is worthless and pointless to read. Because they're just going to go through and they're going to analyze anything and everything, to do with this particular, baby formula shortage. And they're going to be like, well, It's not new. It's been around since the 90s that we've been dealing with putting baby formula on the border, because that's what we needed to do under the Clinton administration. And it's like, oh, okay, we don't care. All we care about is distributing that food back into the citizenry so that the citizenry can reestablish themselves, so that way you can actually restock that. I get you need to actually feed them as well, but if you have nothing to feed them, you send them to Mexico and allow Mexico to try feeding them. I know the shortage isn't just the United States. It's actually kind of supposedly a worldwide thing. But, there's other things that they can actually do to help these babies that require formula. Because our citizenry needs something. And when our citizenry needs something, they almost take it to an extreme. When I say almost take it to an extreme, they do weird things. Like, where's my article? Where's the article I want? Dang it.
Well, I don't know.
That doesn't make sense. This lady? Yeah, this one. This one here. This lady here. This is awesome. You wouldn't believe what people would actually do to help others when they can. It is Utah mom selling almost 4,000 ounces of breast milk as baby formula shortage continues. This is from May 13th.
Can I just say, 4,000 ounces? How much is that?
4,000 ounces?
Like in pounds or...
You'd have to actually throw it into a calculator in your computer. It'll tell you. It is a lot. This is a lot of food. This could actually feed a lot of little babies.
31 gallons.
Yeah, there you go.
It's almost enough for Viva to have a couple of drops on the side,
He likes the shower in his face.
Oh no!
Sprung a leak and squirt him. What can you do?
There must have been something that I missed.
Should I pull this up? Here, I'll pull this up. You finish this.
I mean, someone needs to clip it if it isn't already a clip on YouTube.
It's on Viva Clips.
Perfect.
It's so great.
Anyway, it says that she has 3 freezers full of milk. Mike did the calculation, and 31 gallons of breast milk that's ready and available. And, she's been selling it, however, whatever. West Mother's Milk Bank would need more than 300 donors to meet the need of the community. During the donor shortage, they've gotten about 175. Even if hundreds of women volunteered to donate today, there's people that actually don't believe in feeding their children their breast milk, and they just dump everything. And it's just, it's kind of strange, and maybe they have a reason, like Koolfrogg, something that they don't want to pass on. I have no clue what I'm talking about. What did I just say? I have no clue. Let's erase that. What's this? Oh.
I got distracted trying to figure out how much is normal, and it's a very weird story.
But breast milk carries so many more nutrients and so much more nutrition than what formula would, and it's so much better for babies. And it's not that it needs its mom's breast milk for it to be good. It just needs to be breast milk. And this lady has, these 31 gallons that she's looking to get, looking to sell, or she's selling, or she's using to sell. I'm not going to read the article because I've been looking at this stuff all day and looking at it just kind of like, oh my, it's amazing how many news articles are out there about breast milk and formula shortages, and who owns certain places, and what certain people have to say. So let's see. Let's pull something else up here. Mike, you're pretty quiet tonight. How's it going, man?
I was trying to figure out how much breast milk a random woman produces, which is apparently 30 to 50 ounces a day. Except for some woman who produces 150 to 180 ounces a day. Literally over a gallon a day. So I got distracted by the super milker.
And speaking of that, I have the clip.
Mitchell says, "Hey guys."
This is here. This is from the channel Viva Clips, and this is a very interesting story from our dear friend Viva Fry, from his wife, and trying to help their child out with something. Here, let's see.
So our first child was having trouble latching when we got home, and not
Talking
having
about
trouble,
baby formula shortage, he
baby
got
was
to
chomping,
this.
just not latching, just not getting milk out. So what ended up happening is that the entire nipple. Hope Marion's not watching this. She'll find out soon. Marion's nipple basically got like shredded, and shredded as in like it's soggy, wet. The baby's like gnawing on it with the gummy teeth, trying to latch. And it's it starts. You're trying to do it so often that it starts like peeling. It's like being in water indefinitely, and it makes it even harder for the baby to get milk out. And we didn't know that our baby didn't put back on the weight that she was supposed to put back on, because we didn't know that she wasn't getting enough breast milk. And baby's crying. You don't know what's going on. Baby's crying. You're like you're out of your mind trying to make the baby just not cry and sleep. And then we found out that baby was having problems latching, and we had to go to a bottle. We had to go. Marion would squeeze, and we'd go get formula to supplement, because the baby had to supplement for what she was not able to get because she wasn't latching properly. And this happens to a lot of women. And so that's a reality. That when when you're out of your mind, you've just given birth, you haven't slept in weeks, and now in the United States, there's an actual shortage of baby formula. And that mothers, in addition to everything else that they're going through, and I say mothers and fathers, families, mothers and mothers, fathers and fathers, and whoever has a newborn,
Just to
that
wait
they have
for
to
it here.
bottle feed or supplement with formula. Apparently,
It's
there's a
coming.
shortage. I didn't know this. I saw it on the news.
It's quite the
Apparently,
story.
80% of the formula production in the United States is made by 2 companies. I don't know which companies those are offhand. But Viva bringing back all the
Okay,
horror
here
memories
we
of
go.
parents everywhere. Oh, man. I remember, okay.
Here we go.
One time, because her nipples were so mangled from the baby not latching properly, we go outside in the sun just to try to get some sunlight to dry the... And I just remember they sprung a leak. It was literally like a faucet, because, the milk comes out of these little glands. The glands just sprung a leak. And we're sitting there. She's topless, and there's like a little water pistol of milk. Just squirt, consistent, like not like a drop. It was just like a broken hose, because there was so much in there that couldn't get out through the baby. It just sprung its own leak. That was when I had my first taste of breast milk as well. But okay, story time for another day. So, okay.
He's putting breast milk on his cereal the next
look
day.
at the comments. This is just like, this was from his stream. People are like, Viva, stop. No. You don't need to hear this whole story. Oh my god.
Koolfrogg's just like, this is what happens when you hang out with 40-year-olds.
I mean,
It is, though.
it's kind of a normal occurrence and some stuff like that.
He's just like,
So,
quickly, he's like, yeah.
Before
that's
we
what
got distracted and went to the angle of Viva, I was trying to get it to go kind of political, because we kind of were going there, and we brought up a couple different people. Well, here's a couple more people. It looks like Senators Pat Murray and Bob Casey are pressing Abbott's CEO for information after 3 brands of popular baby formula were recalled due to bacterial contamination. I knew that I mixed these articles up. I knew there was a second article that was on bacterial contamination. I already read one. Boomer through the night. That's just freaking awesome. Everybody should go and read these articles. It's amazing what these people have actually done. So this is Pat Murray and Bob Casey released a letter Friday demanding answers for 3 popular brands that were recalled. Letters to Abbott CEO Robert Ford first shared with the 19th the Democratic senators asked for. I can't even read right now. All internal documents and communications pertaining to contamination, consumer complaints, and use of outside consultants at the Michigan plant that produced the formula, which has sickened 4 of the children. This is why this was supposed to be part of the first freaking section or whatever, because it follows along with the other article.
Yeah, but we had to hear about how Biva likes milk.
Yes.
You did, and that's why I'm upset with myself, because as you guys were actually doing that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go look through the rest of these articles real quick, and then I find this. And then, you see, we're just going to get distracted because it's Saturday night. And look who's going to help distract this. It's Road Plow.
Road Plow. Is he here? Probably muted.
Jules says her puppy dogs just got baths.
We got dogs doing zoomies.
Zoomies?
What the hell is a zoomie?
What the hell is a zoomie? Road Plow got eaten up by the goblins. Eventually, I'm going to have little goblins run across the screen when somebody gets taken.
Why is it always my state that's involved in these things?
Well, because...
To be fair, at least she's on the right side of an issue for once, where she's critical of there not being enough baby formula.
Dude, I don't even want to read this article. It's so long. I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be a great show. I'm going to read these articles. It's just going to be awesome. When they run around all crazy.
Oh.
Oh, a zoomie is when they run around all crazy. Zoom, 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 zoom. Everybody should... I'm going to tie these articles, and they're going to be in the description down below. Everybody should check them out. The interesting thing that I found about this particular article is it was the 19th, which is, for whatever reason, its own little thing. And it says, we're an independent, non-profit newsroom reporting on gender, politics, and policy. Being that they go on those 3 particular topics, I would almost think that this particular article must have been copied and pasted from somewhere else. I just couldn't find the original.
Probably.
I'm assuming this is not their original, and you could probably find this article at a couple different places. You don't have to go to the 19th if you don't want to talk about particular weirdness. Oh, yeah, exactly, Jules. We totally understand. Dogs that run around after baths, rubbing their faces and their bodies on everything. It's cute. It's the funnest. It just makes you want to go get them wet again. Making things wet again is fun. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either.
Road Plow seems to be having some issues. I don't know what his issues are. I don't know if he's...
Well, gee, we don't have to get personal there, Koolfrogg.
Just having some issues.
I'm just kidding.
No, it seems as though a couple of people have had issues actually connecting to the Restream because it has its own setup or whatever, and sometimes like cameras don't want to tie, and it seems like it wants to tie it and it doesn't. You just have to shut it off. I bet it is. I bet it is insanity with two dogs that are getting bathed at the same time. What was that? What was that?
Oh, it was my phone.
Oh, it was your phone.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, we pretty much covered everything. I hate how I do this to myself. Oh, here. This is what we'll do last. We'll do this one.
You gotta start writing scripts. Have your notes ready.
I had them in my head, and that's the thing. Is I had everything going. I had things working or whatever, and I'm like, okay, this is what, because I'll put my tabs in order and I'll leave them up. And I'll go and I'll refresh stuff before the show starts or whatever to make sure everything's all ready. And
then we talked about breast milk, and it was all gone.
No, it was something that had happened earlier after we ate dinner. Is I had sat down in my chair to do some of the work, and I dozed off in the chair. I dozed off in the chair until somebody named Grimsbar popped in the room and said, "What's up?" And all of a sudden, I woke up. I'm like, "Oh no." I should have had a whole bunch of stuff done in the last few hours, and I dozed off as opposed to doing the stuff that I needed to do, which was get this show ready. So that's why the show is so haphazard and ridiculous tonight. But,
I mean, I'm glad there's some levity to this topic, because the reality is very grim.
Yes, the reality is very grim. And I did bring up one strange little
Mike, you're taking my job. You do
article. Well,
Sorry, are you the terrible
you
pun
do.
guy? I don't mean to cut you off here, Brown Shirts. Please.
I mean,
take over.
Brownie shirts. Who's that?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
That happened the other night where you called him that. And a couple of us
his
called
fault
you
for
out on
having
it.
multiple screen names.
Who?
That's what I call it. I said, well, that's your fault. You're going to get doxxed one of these days. You're going to be awfully upset when you find out that his name's Eric.
This is why I just use my name everywhere. That way I'm re-doxed. Can't happen.
Mike.
You guys are being real confused when it turns out I'm actually named Steve.
You're Dwayne. Anyway.
My real name is Koolfrogg.
Yeah, legally changed.
Yeah, we already knew that. What the hell?
So anyway, this funny little article from Mother Jones. We're gonna have a little fun because it's funny, and they're kind of some left picking on Hannity. This is Fox News is screaming about pallets of baby formula going to the border. Too bad its evidence is flawed. Okay, breathe in. Deep breath out. I just watched the videos compiled on this Twitter thread showing how Fox News has taken the baby formula shortage as yet another opportunity to paint migrants and asylum seekers as an enemy of who's coming for you. But at the same time, it's migrant babies. Let me repeat that. Migrant babies. Because, they just come, crawling around by themselves looking for the formula. Because that's what happens. A key part of their coverage is what Rap Cat Kamek tweeted this week. Photos of what she said were pallets and pallets of baby formula at the Border Patrol holding facilities. Kamek says the images her office have been circulating came from a Border Patrol agent, and now Fox News has been playing them in many shows over the past 2 days, saying illegal immigrants are getting top priority and receiving the baby formula that American parents are unable to find. There are two things I'd like to point out after watching these videos. Okay, let's watch the video real quick.
I always thought Alexa was a grown-up.
That's a baby.
Alexa apparently
That's a baby
still an
crying
infant.
who doesn't have formula.
And
what they would have said is go to the border. That's where this.
You're right, because Kat Kamek is now saying that she got some pictures of our border children, the illegal immigrant children, are getting formula. She said there are vats of them, big pallets of them on this truck that are being stocked at the border.
Yeah, and she got those images from a Border Patrol agent who's been doing that for a very long time. And one of the reasons, listen, it's all, and there are some of the
This
images
is what it looks
right
like
there.
in your town, but on the border, the shelves look different.
And see, this
So
is the
American
thing. The
families,
government
there's a
will
shortage, but
buy
if you're a
the
migrant,
formula
don't worry, because Uncle
from the
Sam has
suppliers
a stash
for
of
them.
that. She's actually going to be talking to Ainsley very shortly. Listen,
there's shortages and things going on and whatever all across the world and all these other different areas. The FDA and the CDC will conveniently close down one of the only 2 manufacturing plants, or is it 3 manufacturing plants of baby formula in the country. Back in February, I believe, is when they initiated that. And then, of course, now we're seeing the effects of it, like everything's gone now. So they do that, and then there's a shortage of that. But like, hey, we can totally get all this over to the border crossing illegal immigrants with their children. But hey, it's okay because Bill Gates is here to save the day once again, so it's totally fine, people.
So
that's how this works.
We'll get to more of Bill Gates here in a little bit. So it says, first, it's hard to stomach listening to people on national TV say infants in the U.S. government custody should go hungry because we weren't born here.
Yes, that's exactly what should happen. The ones not born here should starve instead of the ones that were born here. That's exactly how that works.
Kind of for redistributing this stuff myself and just being like, feed, who's hungry first. These are babies with desperate mothers who are currently detained in jail-like facilities. Some of them don't have.
They're free to leave
those
U.S.
mothers.
custody. They can depart any time, just not in the U.S.
They can go right straight back into Mexico, and they can actually probably find something to eat there. I'm sure if they asked for it, somebody will help them find it. Just saying. Let's see, jail-like facilities, and the government has the responsibility to feed them because they can't leave to purchase their own formula, something immigrant rights experts, among others, have already said in social media. So they can leave, though. That's the thing. They can't. Saying they can't leave, that's so stupid. Come on.
Just to be clear, Aaron is calling for harming American babies by, taking formula from them to give to foreigners.
Guy here?
Yep.
This guy here, he says, over the last year, the right-wing attacks on the immigrants have gone to some really dark places, but they keep getting worse. We're at the point now where Fox News is now effectively mainstreaming calls for the Border Patrol to harm babies in their care. Babies. Innocent babies.
Just like Aaron's calling for right now with American babies.
second, from what I can see, the images don't exactly show pallets full of just baby formula. One of the images Chemic's office shared shows a fully stocked shelf with baby formula sandwiched between shelves of fruit pouches. So give them some gluten freaking sugar crap. Hurry up. Pack them full of crap. Fruit pouches. These aren't fruit. These are not. These are packed with crap. These go-go things. And there are a couple other images making their rounds around MAGA world and appearing in Hannity. The ones with the supposed pallets of baby formula. Oh, look. Joe is shipping pallets of baby formula. I'm actually being followed by and following Proud Army Brat. That's fun. She made the news. Here's what he does for Americans. Matthew Gertz. Tucker Carlson. Once they get here, the Biden administration will give them food supplies that they can't buy. Those would include baby formula. How much more of this are people going to take? You wonder? It's too humiliating.
You're seeing footage from our Bill Mallusion right on the screen, one of the only reporters who's been covering the disaster at our border. The pictures you're looking at show a group of more than 100 illegal aliens crossing into this country, Eagle Pass, Texas. Now, there are only 2 Border Patrol agents on the scene. Clearly, they're outmatched.
I know, look
By
at
way,
the
they're not
very
coming from
Hispanic
Mexico.
woman
They're
that
coming
just
from faraway
passed there,
places
the
like
ginger
Venezuela
with
and
like
Cuba, which, by
bleach
the way,
white
is an
skin
island.
and red hair.
Why are they coming? Because Joe Biden left our screen
I mean,
door
this
open.
is from everywhere.
Once they get here, the Biden administration will give them food supplies that you can't buy. And those would include baby formula.
Wait a minute here.
Mostly from the third world, though. But
Look at this. Look at this group of people walking up here. Look at this guy right here. This guy right here. You see him? You see the guy that I'm circling here? Do you see? Take a good look at him. Pay attention to him. He very tan pants, blue shirt, about 6 something. Look at his hand signal. Right at the camera. What
I
is
mean,
that?
it's an NG. He's probably some NGO guy who's leading these people in, or helping these people in. Probably what that girl was too. Probably that I was pointing out. A Soros-backed NGO that then brings these people in with the assistance of the UN, of course.
And if he signals the camera to let him know that he's with this group, he gets paid with each person that's in the group.
Oh, he's getting paid anyway, but he's just showing to the camera. You know, like, yeah.
I mean, look at this guy. I mean, I was like watching this crowd as they're walking through. And look at basic height, nice shaved hair, kind of a white complexion with, you know, some basic clothes. I mean, he's kind of it's kind of a strange.
And the fact is, Republicans are way too cucked out to do anything about it.
But look, he also points at the camera.
Yes, this is organized crime. They go there in groups and lead these people here to intentionally violate our laws. And Republicans just sit there with this thumb up their ass pretending they care. They've done nothing about this.
Yeah, thumbs up, dude. You're here.
Oh, because they're all paid off globalists.
You know, I mean, he's, you know,
Not
look
all
at
of
the,
them, but,
you know,
the ones that don't do
I mean,
anything or don't
obviously, you know, who signals the camera? Oh, the first guy does. That guy does. Everybody waving. She's like, "Oh, I'll put my hand up too." But yeah, I mean, this is what you were saying. Look at that flowing red hair.
Clearly an illegal migrant woman who is with like 18 children in her belly, and she needs baby formula right now, because that's just, I mean, all of these people, look at all of these pregnant people, all of them. Look at that dude right there. Look at him. The guy with the pink on his shirt, like, he's totally pregnant.
This guy here,
yes, he needs
he's
baby
a
formula.
he must be hungry. Looks like he hasn't eaten in the last 24 hours maybe. A little disturbing, huh?
Yeah, so
Anyway, okay, let's go away from there.
Biden's preferential treatment for illegals, it's gotten worse because, according to Florida Congresswoman Kat Cammack, new photos inside a migrant facility, this one in McAllen, Texas. Look at that. Pallets and pallets of baby formula for illegal immigrants and their families. Even as hardworking American families, we're now suffering a massive a nationwide formula shortage. We reached out to the White House and the Department of Homeland Security for comment, yet to hear back. Here with reaction, Florida Congresswoman Kat Cammack is with us. I know people, parents, they cannot get the formula that they desperately need. Now, I'm not against helping out families, but they're not enforcing the law. These are not people that respected our borders, our laws, and our sovereignty. Why wouldn't all the pallets go to American families first?
Well, Sean, that's the crazy thing, just how insane everything is right now that we're even having this discussion. But it points to what a total dumpster fire the Biden administration truly is. Look, the Biden administration is responsible for this formula shortage. Back in November, their own FDA shut the #1 manufacturer of baby formula down on a tip with no plan to backfill the 43% that this manufacturer is a part of the market share. So again, typical Biden administration, no plan, no contingencies, no way to backfill 43% of our nation's supply of baby formula.
Again, pause
Yet
this.
just today,
Pause this. She just told you what the hell happened, but then she sits there and goes, oh, well, it's just another little blunder. It's just, it's totally not pathological shutdown of food and food facilities, and now here baby formula and baby formula facilities. Don't look there, folks. I mean, this is the level of freaking Stockholm syndrome that even freaking Congress people are under, where it's just like, oh, well, I guess Biden's just an oaf and a rope-a-dope, so what the hell, all we need to do is just kind of, go to White House and kind of shake him around by his shoulders, be like, hey, Biden, wake up from your nap. Like, that's all you have to do. Like, no, this is intentional. They had no plan to do this because they don't want a plan. They want the shutdown. They want to corner all the markets and shut off all the resources to you in the process.
Sounds about right.
I'm getting word from Border Patrol agents that there is a tractor trailer full of pallets of baby formula sitting in that storeroom. Come on now. This is exactly what America Last looks like. You've got parents panicking, kids getting sick, and the humanitarian mission at the border, the agents are doing the best job that they can, but man, their hands are tied.
And Jen Psaki says, "Oh, go ask your doctor how to do it." What is the doctor going to produce the baby formula? What's fascinating is you post this on Facebook, and then you go to your district in Florida and you show empty shelves where baby formula is supposed to be, and they're all empty. So so we don't have any, but illegal immigrants are getting a top priority now.
He says something about Jen Psaki and actually, go and see your doctor or whatever. I mean, isn't that the last resort that you'd actually be like, I'm unable to find something to feed my baby. Please help me feed my child. and they might maybe call Child Protective Services on you or something.
Well, I heard that you could go. I saw a couple of senators tweet this out and make statements as well, and a couple other different people, where you can somehow ask for a prescription from your doctor for baby formula. And then
Also,
from there, you can.
How does that help if there just isn't baby formula?
Well, yes.
Right.
But,
I mean, I can
they
write down
said
I'm
that they
entitled
would
to
make
baby
it, but
formula on a piece of paper, but that doesn't make it appear.
right. But like in the statement, they said that well, they'll make some, and then whoever orders it or whatever. So it's like, oh, so
Theme
this
of
is
the
on
night.
special order now. Like, the hell? And then who's going to pay for that? Oh, it's like, what is your insurance going to pay for that? I mean, like And then,
Theme of the night. We've read part of that article. You should go read the rest of it. We'll drop links down below.
I mean, I think people just haven't quite put together how bad this is going to be. There's something like 3.6 million babies in the US, of which 75% will use formula before the age of 1 to subsidize essential nutrition. So 2.7 million, dependent on formula. If even 1% of them can't find enough food, that's 27,000 dead babies. An entire city of dead babies.
Well, I mean, isn't that what the left wants? Abortions on demand, abortions after birth. Like, I mean,
yes,
this is what they want.
But I don't think they realize other people are more emotionally well-adjusted and will, defend their children.
No, we're not going to listen to what Jen Psaki had to say. We don't
Oh,
really
but
care.
it's her last time to say anything.
But no, she.
I mean, you already
We said
summarized it,
we
but,
did say goodbye to her yesterday. If you
Okay,
really
she's
want,
gone and forever forgone. Let's move on.
anybody that missed that should actually go check me out. The easiest way to actually find me, and it's very fun, is put in Stick with Koolfrogg, and you'll actually come up with my channel. When you get there, hit the subscribe button, share, like, ring the bell, do all those fun things. And then you should also go check out AmericaShirts.com, the absent website, because if you don't, you can't use promo codes like Koolfrogg.
Yes, so bookmark it, people.
Do what you need to do. Mike says he doesn't like people following him, so no
I
links.
wouldn't like people following me around either. That's just kind of weird.
I mean, you're always welcome to come down to the strip club and see a show.
So this article says Melania Trump, because this is what started me off through the day or whatever. As I seen Trump article, I'm like, yes, and totally doing something on baby formula because Melania Trump had something to say. So this is Melania Trump said Friday that the baby formula shortage in the U.S. is heartbreaking in an interview with the Fox News. It's heartbreaking to see that they are struggling and the food is not available for children in the 21st century in the United States of America. I think it's sad to see what's going on. If you really look deeply into it, I think a lot of people are struggling and suffering, and what is going on around the world as well. So it's very sad to see, and I hope it changes fast. When asked why she thought the baby formula shortage was occurring, the former First Lady appeared to take a shot at the Biden administration, saying, leadership. I mean, is she wrong? Is there any other reason that we should be worrying about this shortage right now? other than the leadership? Was there a shortage before leadership changed hands? I don't remember there being one. So I'm kind of with Melania on this one. You know, when it comes down to it, it seems like it's a leadership issue. There seems to be more than needs to be happening that is actually happening. Babies can't get formula is not good. Again, I'm just going to scroll to the bottom of this article. Anybody that wants to read it can read it. Otherwise, check the links down below. I'm with Melania. I don't know what you guys think about that. This is what AmericaShirts has to say.
This is what all of the people in the Biden administration, particularly the Ministry of Truth, are doing right now to you, Koolfrogg, because you've brought up so many different lefty and leaning left websites. They're all going good. So feel proud of yourself.
Yeah, they're all like, oh, good. He's reading all of our crap. He's reading all of this bile that I'm throwing at him. He's extrapolating his own knowledge. Oh, crap. Anyway, artificial breast milk firm that offers an environmentally friendly alternative to baby formula gets $3.5 million from investment fund backed by Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg.
Well, what could go wrong?
You don't say. What? Environmentally friendly alternative baby formula? Huh. I wonder why there's current shortage. That seems strange. Let's see, when was this article written? Updated June 19th of 2020.
It's almost like we create the problem, and then crisis ensues, and then we fix the problem with our own thing that only we...
And we said, look at what we did.
Or at the
with
very
a
least, that we
big,
now have
huge, cheesy grin, man boobs, and a fat belly. This is what we did. We invested $3.5 million to these three. $3.5 million? Come on. You do better than that. Each one of you could have done 3.5. And it would have just been pocket change. Because of the money that you know you're going to make off of this. Because people are going to totally buy into this bullcrap. And they're going to be like, oh my God, go buy bio milk.
Again, milk is spelled with a K. Oh, excuse me, not a K. Q.
It's a Q.
It's spelled with a Q at the end. Bio milk with a Q.
Bio milk.
That is so attractive, right? It
freaking sounds disgusting. I hope they don't put that on their label as that's their name of their product and it's just the name of the firm. If you get what I'm saying. In February, Biomilk showed a proof of concept for their artificial breast milk, demonstrating that they are able to produce both casein and lactose proteins that are key components of real human breast milk. So they've done some reverse engineering because they've been removing lactose from milk for years for people that have tolerant issues. And now they're like, oh, let's see if we can't produce lactose in casein. It's just weird. We believe parents, caregivers, infants deserve more options in early stage nutrition. We're determined to give them just that and to create a better world for future generations. So they've been probably thinking about this forever. Being like, what can we do? How can we create this weird, strange whatever that's going to feed children?
Right, and then they never release it, or they never announce release, or they never talk about it or try to make it public and, try to get people to go after it. It's not until there's a shortage of the alternative, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there we go. Oh, by the way, you know where CDC gets a lot of their money from? The FDA gets a lot of their money from? You know the guy that gives them a lot of ka-ching there, a lot of ka-ching, different stuff that they do, whatever, You follow the money through there, guess who gives them a lot of money? Oh yeah, Bill Gates. And guess who shut down the baby formula places?
Bill Gates? Huh.
CDC, FDA.
You just don't. Bill Gates. This guy. This fool right here. That's an old picture. That's an old picture. He looks skinny.
He loves you. Don't question. He wants.
He does not love anybody. He doesn't even love himself. If you've seen him lately, you understand what I'm talking about. He loves beef. Oh, you know what? I don't think that's the case. He must be just like devouring a loaf of bread a day.
Yeah, no, he's eating steak every meal, like, and then he's looking at you and going like, no, I'm sorry, you have to eat my Impossible Burger, because that's just what's left over. I mean, us elites, we gotta have our steak.
I hate this guy. So sick of hearing him. Fuck off, Bill Gates. At the end of the day, I have two words for you. Fuck you.
Ask and you shall receive.
Everybody should check that article out. I'll have those down in the description. Yeah, we're doing a relaxed Saturday. Here you go.
I mean, this is the response to all that, right?
Just a relaxed
Fuck you!
Saturday.
Fuck you! I got plenty of words for you, but at the end of the day, fuck you and your New World Order, and fuck the horse you rode in on, and all your shit!
Exactly. Exactly how I feel about Bill Gates.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't think I had anything else.
We're all just like, breathe in, breathe out. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Edward Jones.
I'd have forgotten if the article didn't tell me.
But, with all the concerns that are going on, the one lady that had 31 gallons of stuff available, she was doing
That's
it
a really
right.
impressive volume. Like, just
It
to
is.
give her credit for her titty production.
Right, absolutely. I mean, she had to have been just like continuously pumping, like every chance she could.
That's who I'm hiring as a wet nurse. She clearly has an overabundance.
Right, she clearly knows what she's doing to actually produce this and actually get it to do what it needs to do. And yeah, I mean, you need more people to do that. Because obviously, if there's a shortage, people need help. They're willing to actually pay people to help them. Help them. Show how you can actually help them by just go and help them. If you have an overabundance and you're like every day this kid's not eating enough or whatever, however, and you can pump that and you can go and you can actually, make $1 off of it. Make $1 off of it. Who cares? Help somebody. Any last thoughts for any of you? You think that you want to share? Did you want to change the whole complexion of the episode and just go somewhere else?
I'm still vaguely disturbed by Viva's description of his wife's tits water gunning out milk.
Well, so here I'll give you 3 children. I've dealt with moms and their issues with breastfeeding.
Is it like pencil erasers now?
No, when they're so engorged and they're trying to actually wean themselves from actually feeding the baby, and it hurts, and they're like, oh my God, it hurts. They need some help sometimes. Breast milk really isn't that bad for anybody. Just saying. When they need help, you help them.
I think Tony's the only one who hasn't tried breast milk on this call. Let's be honest.
No, I haven't.
Still AmericaShirts, and I'll eventually remember, but not today.
That warm, chocolatey scented brownie.
It's my baked good from another hood, and I just get you confused all the time.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Oh, that's so funny. Is there anything else you guys want to share? You got a last thought?
Nope.
I'm just going to leave it on squirt gunning breast milk.
AmericaShirts has no last thoughts. His last thought should be go check out his Rumble channel.
Oh, yes, of course.
But,
yes, totally.
he doesn't want a last thought, so he's just going to sit in silence.
He's overwhelmed by the breast milk, so we'll shill him out. Check out AmericaShirts on Rumble, where you can find this and more great content, along with AmericaShirts.com for all your beautiful shirts.
There you go. Of course, you can't buy any at this particular point in time because
that's fluffershirts.com. The fluffiest
supply
shirts.
chains, whatever. I have to switch around things and so forth. So
because he doesn't know how to use Zazzle, right? Zazzle.com for your on-demand shirt ordering today.
Anybody that wants to hold a conversation with somebody like Mike on a regular, almost daily basis, come subscribe to this channel. Come talk to one of us and let one of us know that you subscribe to the channel, and we'll get you a Discord link. You can hold a conversation with him. He's so fun to talk to and super fun to actually talk to.
This is me being YouTube appropriate. Just imagine what it gets up to on Discord.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Some of the stuff that we talk about is ridiculous. Everybody should actually just support me, though. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Koolfrogg. I know it's kind of it's a pain in the ass website, but it's an easy way to give the support. I think I'm gonna actually see. I know I do have, a couple different ways, like PayPal or something else that I do have set up. And I think I'm gonna actually post those links. I believe if you actually went to the Linktree /Koolfrogg, you can find them there. But I think I'm gonna start posting those links a little bit different. See if I can't get some support from, my large group of 39 subscribers. I love y'all. Y'all are great. With that, let's do this.
Back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Fuck Joe Biden.
Just dance our way out of here.
Oh, that's gonna be another strike.
It's only on random episodes that it's actually struck me on that. Not all of them does it do that. So it's kind of I really don't know how that one gets flagged. I really don't know. I think it's only giving me one copyright on it in one episode, and I've played it every episode since.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Everybody say goodbye.
Later, peeps.